another thing about that quote that we just read, though, is that it seems to indicate that seeing things from love is a higher or a primary state of mind. That because of the love that angels are in, they just see the truth of how you should act. All these things that nowadays people have faith tell them that faith is really just a tool to get you to that truth. That truth that angels see is the reality. And the truth has to do with love. And that the truth in itself is just a means to how to accurately live and love. And so I wanted to get a perspective on that. Where's a tradition that's not Swedenborg or even Christianity that Swedenborg was kind of operating within that says that this thing, that love is primary. Our next guest was this great example of that. His name is Losang Samten, and he is a Buddhist monk, and he was actually a personal attendant to His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, who I read some books by, awesome guy, prior to moving to the United States in 1988. And he's one of the mandala masters. He made one of the first sand mandalas. Do you know what a mandala is? You're about to see it. Don't worry about it. He created was one of the guys creating the first public sand mandala in the West in 1988. So he's had a lot, and he's been in a Martin Scorsese film. This guy's been in a lot of stuff, and we were lucky enough to get to interview him and hear about what you're making this design in sand. Why are you doing that? And how is this linked to this core of love and compassion? So here's what he had to say about that.
Sand mandalas are, one thing is very secret, and also these are very, very old ancient designs, over 2,600 years. And it's very appropriate, and each design or shape, the color, many level meaning there for the spiritual meaning and environment meanings, and overall this is a mandala, portion of the mandala of compassion. And while I'm doing this, for example, doing the design, and one thing is I need to be thinking as much as I can compassion and reciting the mantra of compassion. But also, long as another way to while doing this, it's just clear my thoughts. It's a very meditative. So the mandalas are not only the art, but it's carrying the message for what we need in our life, to how to prove our life. So that's really the main meaning of the mandalas. And especially I came here for this project, Mandala Sand Art Mandala Project, 1988 in New York City. That was the first time we displayed the sand mandala publicly in the West. And so before 1988, never done sand mandala in the public like this. But so it's carrying a message for peace and kindness. And so that's why a lot of interest that people, even though now might not know true depth of the mandala meaning, but people are very fascinated to see the color sand can design such a very intricate designs.
Compassion is the point of it, that it's not just art, as he said, it's a way to teach how to live in love. And if this spiritual reality that Swedenborg is talking about, angels who don't even know what faith is, they know what love is, and that the truth leads you to love, they just see the truth. Was somebody, Losang said that he is carrying a tradition that's over 2,600 years old, and somebody had an experience then where they saw this or were given this mandala. Is that same? Maybe they talked to the same heaven, and that this was a tool to get people to it. So just because a form is different doesn't mean it's not the same root. He mentioned there the mantra of compassion. So we already had him on the line. So we asked, okay, what is the mantra of compassion as a tool, and how does it what does it mean and how do you use it? And this is what he had to say.
The mantra of compassion is there are 6 syllables. Om, ma, ne, pe, me, hum. Om mane pe me 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 hum. Om symbolizes the generosity. Om is a very, very common sound or the mantra in India or Tibet. Om. So Om, of course, there are many meanings. One is Om means the generosity. Generosity comes from the compassion. Ma means the ethics, moral discipline, physical discipline, mental discipline, world disciplines. And Om Ma Ne means patience, be patient. And anything we do or dealing with any issues, be patient is very necessary. There also are compassion. More the patience we are, more compassion we're going to be. Om Mane Pe means joyful effort, means not giving up or you pursue something, and even though taking a long time, but not giving up, and again and again. Om Mane Pe Me means a focus, a concentrate, focus. Hum means wisdom. So Om Mane Pe Me Hum, we in Tibet, everybody reciting Om Mane Pe Me Hum. Meaning of those is the 6 perfections, 6 paramitas. And here the design itself is, this is the middle of the mandala of compassion. And mandala, there are numerous mandala of compassion tradition way, or many mandala of compassion, different lineages. And this one is called the Gelongma Pemuluk. Gelongma means a bhikshu or nun, one of the Buddhist nun when Buddha was alive. And like Mother Teresa, she was her practice is not just sitting and prayer, but very actively doing a lot of compassion activities. And she had a vision of this mandala or design, came to the vision, and he asked to the Buddha what this is all about. And ever since then, this dedicated for the mandala of compassion. And unbroken lineage since then, 2,600 years, and passing to teacher to students, and still is very live practices in Tibetan Buddhist tradition.
There it is. That he's talking about the vision that came to that woman that showed her, hey, this is something important, and we use this for thousands of years to inspire compassion, love. I mean, all those syllables, none of them are about, sign here to join the church. It's like, do this, persevere at it, be kind. It's a discipline for the mind that leads to good action. And I don't think everybody on seeing that think, oh yeah, there's something about spirituality there. I mean, that's the core of it. So that is that heaven speaking in a particular way through that tradition, and then it speaks in other ways through other traditions. So we're looking for the spiritual reality. So the form of goodness. So is that mandala an outward form of compassion? Is that what compassion can look like when it's out there? So